Hi class, Assalamualaikum and very good morning. I hope you all are in a good health after the midterm break. Today we will cover the chapter 8, resource allocation. I hope you all get ready on the new semester, and please check before we start. I want to give some advice. Please check your attendance, please check your assignment, your quiz. uh, Check your carry marks whether it's good or not, so that you can boost your performance um, in this new part of the semester. Yeah. Okay. That's it for the advice, and I hope you stay focused on your study. uh, and now the government is already announced that PKPB and PKPP is already end, and you can go across the state, across the Malaysia. But uh, make sure that you follow the SOP, wear your mask, keep the distance in order to avoid the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, class. This chapter 8 is about of the resource allocation. Yeah. So we will cover on the project resource, introduction to the project resources, resources allocation and nature, how you allocate your resources, and then factor that affect the human resource allocation, and how to identify resource requirement, and how you schedule the resources. And then we discuss about the resource loading, yeah, overloading or underloading, and also the resource leveling, which is when you manage the project, so you need to balance, yeah, between two elements of resource leveling, and money and time. Okay. So in introduction, a resource is the allocation of physical resources to different activities. Means that, give you an example, you got people, team members, which is a physical resources that you will assign your staff according to their designation. Okay. So let's say project manager manage the project, system analyst manage the system development, software engineering manage the system development and do the design. So any item, a resource is any item or person required for the execution of the project. So why you need the resources? Because you need the engine, yeah. You need to um, ensure the engine of the project can be executed or can be started. So it is very important to get the good resources for your project. So this is a part of the project manager or project director, uh, while selecting the candidate for their projects. Okay. And not only the people or person uh, is the uh, component in the resources, but there are 7 categories of resources that uh, we can categorize it. Yeah. First is labor, second equipment, material, space, services, time, and money. So this is categories of resources. So don't confuse that. When we talk about resources in the project, you only focus on the labor only. So equipment is part of the resources. Material is part of the resources. So without equipment, you cannot do anything. Let's say you got the people. but they don't have tools to do their jobs. In specific, as a programmer or software engineer, they need a laptop or desktop, to start their project, to start their software coding and so on. Okay, we go one by one. Labor resource consists of project development team members. When you talk about labor, it's a people, yeah, people that involved in the project, people who involved in the planning, people who involved in system analysis, people who involved in design, user interface design, user experience design, database design, okay, DBA we call it, yeah, tester, user analyst, and also the user representative is the labor. So equipment include computing and office equipment. What does it mean, computing and office equipment? Computing means the desktop, the laptop, yeah, the server, uh, what else? Uh, the printer and etc. Yeah. So and also the office equipment, yeah, a puncher, printer, as I said, uh, photocopy machine, and etc. So another resources is a material. Material is item that are consumed. For example, stationery. So you need a pen, for example, yeah, paper. Okay. What else? Anything that you use and it finish, yeah, finish item. And then another resources, we call it space. The space is a example office space, yeah. So you need a conducive space to do your work. So normally, uh, a company, a big company, they got their own buildings, yeah, to allocate their staff, their worker in the one place, yeah. But nowadays we we implement the remote office. You can see in the Google Space, yeah, they provide the virtual space for the SME or big company, to operate their operation. So space nowadays is not the barrier, to start your work. So you can start your or you can do your work from the home. This was implemented in Europe country. A lot of project is outsourced to the certain company in different country. Yeah. So if you live in Malaysia, I think there are still implement a physical space. Yeah. So you need to go to the office and then go back and go back and go back. So this will take time to go to the office. Maybe you spend in if you stay in KL, you will spend 1 hours in traffic jam and so on. But the new era of uh, digital business, so we don't need a physical space. So what we need is a internet, and then we can work anywhere. So another component, another resources, we call it services. That a special service like telecommunication service, or you uh, engage with the supplier who responsible to provide the hardware, for example, yeah. Telecommunication, when you involve in the enterprise system. Let's say you develop a application, that the A application will need to be implemented across the country. So you need a telecommunication line uh, to be installed in each of the branch of the company. We take one example, Post Office Malaysia. We got 600, and I don't know nowadays. I think more than 700 or 1,000 branch of Post Office Malaysia. So it will involve a lot of telecommunication installation, uh, which required uh, substantial of budget, yeah, to implement it. Another service uh, involved in the software project is the supplier. I just told you who supply the hardware and also the software. Yeah. So this is also the resources that you have to manage. Yeah. If you fail to manage this third party, we call it third party resources, so it will affect your project. It will affect your entire project. Yeah. Another resources, we call it time. So this is very important. So Allah SWT give us 24 hours a day. So how we manage is up to you. You want more rest, or you want more hard work, is up to you. But in project, so you must make sure that uh, you can manage the time, or you can budget the time to complete a certain activities or certain deliverable. Yeah. And this is a very challenging work to manage the time. Okay. So if you fail to budget, or you fail to estimate to complete certain activities or certain tasks, so it will drag uh, the whole timeline of your project. So this is very important. Time must be managed accordingly, and uh, you must get a good advisor, or a good team to contribute how to allocate the resource, and allocate a very reasonable time, yeah, to finish a certain activity. So the last not least, money. Yeah. People always say that no money, no talk. Yeah. So money is resources used to buy other resources, and will be consumed when those resources are used. So without money, without budget, we cannot start the project. Yeah. So money and time is need a balance. So if you don't have money, so if you got less money, then you need expand the time, long time. Yeah. You need to uh, estimate the project to be complete in long time. But sometimes uh, when you manage a project which get a long time to finish, so it will incur a lot of money. So you need to balance these two, and this is very tough work. Yeah? So if you increase the time, so money also increase, budget also increase. If you reduce the time to complete the project, so the money also increase, because you need to pay the overtime. Yeah, the overtime cost for the staff, you need to pay. uh, but when you see at the top company, yeah, like Lazada, Shopee, they work like they don't have they don't have a proper time to do a work. Like they work 24 hours. So this is not good. And this is some of the company they take advantage. If you want to work, then you do what they fix for you. Yeah, they fix for you. So you need to follow them. Let's say sometime during the sales time, yeah, the Shopee or the Lazada programmer or system designer must be in the must be on-site support. So because they have to manage the high traffic during the sales, so they have to be in the office, monitor the performance of the system, monitor the problems got or report by the user. So time and money need to be balanced. Yeah. So if you need the short time to develop a software, of course you need to increase the cost because you have to pay them high to get the job complete fast enough. So this is very difficult. So I don't have the answer how uh, to manage this, how to handle this, but uh, experience will help you. Okay. So what factor affect your human resource? Yeah. So we talk about the 7 categories of resources. Then now we talk what element that affect the human resource allocation in the software project. So what does it mean? It means that what is the factor, what is the element that will will disturb the process of human resource allocation in your project. Yeah. For example, you have a list of staff, uh, labor or project team, and then what is a factor that make you difficult to assign them? Yeah. What factor that affect that your human resource allocation will affect your project timeline? Firstly is availability. So the project manager must always have the knowledge of the availability of the particular individual who is assigned a certain task. Okay, this I give you a scenario that what is the availability. Availability will affect the human resource allocation. So sometimes you got 10 expert staff, for example, yeah, and each of the each of them uh, manage manage certain tasks, and then we have you have another task which is also important. Yeah. For example, the current system is failed to execute accordingly. So uh, the 10 staff is already assigned with the very important assignment. And then how you want to uh, allocate or assign to them to manage the new task, which is very important. So this is what I mean is a factor that affect the human resource allocation. So of course you will ask the expert from the 10 of them to stop the current task and then let one of them look at the current system which is not functioning well. Okay, so this will affect, yeah, the current work which we need to resolve the current problem. So this is things that uh, will happen along the uh, software project uh, software project process. Yeah. So a project manager, project director must be uh, got a wisdom, yeah, how to manage this thing. Okay, another element that affect the human resource allocation is the criticality. The criticality is about the allocation of more experienced personnel to activities on the critical parts, often help in shortening project duration or at least reduce the risk of overrun. So this is more or less similar to the scenario that I told you just now. Yeah. So the criticality of activity will affect the human resource allocation. Like I said, uh, it's because of the system critically required to be up. Yeah. So we need to reallocate the staff which is already got assignment. Yeah. So this will affect the resource allocation. But what I want to share with you here is this is not a problem. Yeah. This is not a problem, but this is a way how you manage the resources. So another factor affect the human resource is a risk. So risk is identifying the activities that pose the greatest risk and knowing the factor influence them. Help to allocate staff. Allocating experienced staff to the highest risk activity will have the greatest effect in reducing overall project uncertainties. So indeed, this is a common in the project. Yeah. So you will put the experienced staff to the onto the high risk activities. Yeah. So of course, you as a project manager, you already analyze the risk. If you put the young or junior programmer or junior software engineer in a very critical task, so it will get trouble. Yeah. Firstly, the young or the junior programmer got less skill. Yeah. Secondly, they got less experience. Thirdly, they they don't have uh, endurance. Yeah, endurance means they don't have a continuously determining the problems. So this is a very important task of project manager, how to identify the right person to the right activities to be handled. Okay, another factor that affect the human resource is training. Yeah, training is a benefit to the will benefit the organization if positive steps are taken to allocate junior staff to appropriate non-critical activities, where there will be sufficient slack or not time for them to train and develop skill. So when you run the project, so some of the staff is experienced staff, some of them is very junior. So for the junior staff, you need to send them to the training. Yeah. And not only the junior or senior staff, but when you implement a new technology, sometimes all of them involved in the training. So you need to manage this training period to extend your entire project timeline. So training will affect the human resource allocation. So maybe uh, the 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 junior staff involved in the documentation, but it is critical for them to go for training. So they have to hold their task in documentation work for the training. So as you know that the documentation is start from the beginning of the project. Yeah. So the project manager need need a people who can document uh, the SDP, for example, the SRIs. Yeah? They have to compile and document the user requirement. So this will affect the timeline and will affect the staff allocation. So another factor that affect the staff allocation is the team building. So the selection of individual must also take account of the final shape of the project team and the way they will work together. So some of the staff, when you manage a project, some of the staff need to go through the team building exercise, and they will affect the staff allocation because the staff uh, will go for training on the team building, involved in the team building exercise for 1 week or 2 weeks. So the task in a software project will be whole, right? So this will affect. So, but in long term, so the team building or this exercise is very important because in the software development process is a journey actually. Yeah. So it take long time to finish and a lot of process involved. Yeah. Sometimes 2 years, 3 years. So the staff need to live together in the office, not in the house. So they have to know each other. They have to know how to tolerate each other. So the team building is very important to keep them know each other. Okay, so this is very important for the organization. Staff understand the vision, the mission and vision of the company. Staff understand the objective of the company is developed or is created, yeah, for the nation, for example, for the ummah and so on. Okay, I think there are five factors that will affect the human resource allocation. This is a factor that uh, commonly uh, involved while you allocate the resources, while you plan your resources. So you must or you need to consider these five elements. So and after we know about the factor that affect human resource allocation, so you need to know how to identify the resource requirement and how you schedule the resources. But frankly speaking, so how to identify the resource requirement is a very important thing that you list all the resources that you have. So that means you get a list of staff and also other resources that you got. Uh, Simple things like you list all the existing resources and also the required human resource. You list the existing human resource and also the required human resource. Like I told you in the beginning of the lab, so you need to create the organization chart, right? So this is the one of the uh, reason, one of the formula how you want to identify the resources, yeah, by design the organization structure. From the organization structure, you know that okay, so in the software development division, you need 10 programmer, two system analysts, yeah. Yeah, in the data center, for example, in the data center or network division, you need three system engineer, network engineer, and etc. Then the required resources will normally be done by considering each activity in turn. So get a list of activities. After you get list all the resources, then get a list of activities, list all the tasks, uh, tasks or activities in every phase. For example, uh, project planning. Yeah. So what is the activities? List our activity and software requirement, yeah, user requirement process. So what are the activities involved? In system analysis, what is the activity? Design, what is the activity? So you need to list all the activities before you before you identify the resource requirement. Yeah? So the resource requirement list should be as comprehensive as possible. Like I said, the resource requirement list should be mapped onto the activity plan. When you got the human resource and other resource, so you got the list of activities, then you map it. Yeah, you assign the activities to the human resource. So let's say you in the beginning of the project you only got 2 or 3 staff, then you got at least more than uh, more than 20 of activities. So from the activities, so you can identify the resource requirement, correct? uh, so you got the activities, you got the list of resources, so you map it. So so for those activities that doesn't have any candidate, so you need to hire them. Okay. After you map the resources into the activities, then you need to schedule it. Yeah, you need to present it in Gantt chart format, for example. Yeah, and then you have to maintain it. Maintain means sometimes you need to change, sometimes you need to exclude the task, sometimes you need to add a new task. Okay. So how to identify resource requirement and schedule? Prioritization of activities involve allocation of resource and competing activities. So this is based on the sequence of the task. Yeah, when you follow software development life cycle, they already prioritize the activities. So two way of prioritizing the activities is according to the total flow priority and ordered list priority. I think this one uh, you can read by yourself. Yeah. Okay. What is a resource loading class? So when you manage a resource, there are two type of resource uh, loading. Yeah. First is a resource overload. Second is resource underload. So resource overload is the resource requirement is more than uh, available resource. So that means uh, you got 100 of tasks, but you only have 10 staff. Sorry, you got 100 of tasks, yeah, activities, but you only have 10 staff. So that means the staff is under pressure. Yeah, so they have to work like they got 10 hand. Yeah, so this called resource overload. So when we talk about resource underload, means that the resource requirement less than available resources. That means you got 100 staff, but you have 10 activities only. This is dangerous. Yeah. So that's why the government uh, start to look at the government staff. Yeah. We got a lot, 100,000 of government staff, but the service, some of the agency, the service is still worse. So how come we got many staff but the service is bad? So this is under review by the government to reduce the staff. Yeah. That call we call it now not look at the Europe country, but Europe country is very relaxed. One staff normally they handle half staff only. One staff handle one task only or half task. Okay, so this is very relaxed. So but in Indonesia or in um, India, okay, Vietnam or in the Asian country, normally the staff one staff will handle more than three tasks. Yeah? So we call it resource overload in Asian country. So I believe that in Asian country, the worker is uh, very hardworking. Yeah. So they work overtime because this is a poor country. Maybe some of the Asian country is a poor country or developing country like Malaysia. Okay, class, I summarize that resource loading is there are two type of resource loading, resource overload and resource underload. Resource overload is a resource requirement less than a resource requirement is more than uh, available resource. And resource underload is resource requirement is less than available resource. So what is a resource leveling class? Resource leveling involve time and money. It deal with both time, yeah, and resources, including manpower and money. Resource leveling tries to balance the conflicting interests of project with the available resources. We break things down into two categories: time and available resources. So some project need to be finished within a certain time frame. This project will use all the available resources to complete the project task by a certain date. Okay, this is what I told you before. So resource leveling is very uh, challenging work. How we want to manage between project deliverable, which involve time and resources. When we talk about resources, it involves the cost. Yeah. So if we want the project to finish in short time, so we need more resources, more cost. So if you want to delay the time of the project to be finished, also involve the resources. Yeah, because the longer time you need to finish the work, the more cost that you have to spend to the staff. So this is like what do you call it? Malay said tarik tali. Yeah, you have to balance between two. Okay, I give example the resource leveling. For example, if you got less staff, then you need you try to reduce the staff, but cost is high, for example, because you have to pay more salary to the staff to do a lot of work. Okay, sometimes you need to reduce the cost, but also you need to uh, increase the staff to do a work. Yeah, and the most important thing that the staff and cost must be balanced. Yeah, so let's say you got uh, 10 project, so you should have 10 project manager. And this is an example. This is an example of apple to apple, very easy to understand. So you must balance it. Let's say you got 1 million uh, 1 million cost of project. So in 1 million, I think you can finish it in 3 months or 6 months. So you have to balance that. Don't hire more staff. So just hire on just hire the intensive staff for them, so you will save the money. Yeah, but you should provide a very good system. Yeah, although you use the intensive internship staff, student working with your project, but you have a mentor to manage them. So this is one of the uh, a good practice. Yeah, so we give a chance to the junior involved in the project, and they got skill when they finish their university degree. So then they can start uh, do their work without the training. So it's up to the project manager or the organization or the company how to manage their resources, and how to help the human resource development in Malaysia or in other countries. Uh, from my experience, in last I think 30 years in the industry, so we are looking normally we are looking for the experienced programmer. Yeah, but after a while we cannot do like this approach, because it's not fair to the junior junior or fresh graduate to get a job, right? Because they are very difficult to get a job, because they are fresh. So we have to fair to them, to give a chance to them involved in the project. We need to take them. Yeah, so that's why in time we train the student uh, using a case study, yeah, involved in the projects, so that when you go to the industry, and you can straight to you can straight do the project or involved in the project, and give a confidence for the company to take you involve you in the real project. Okay, class, in summary, so there are 7 categories of resources, include labor, equipment, materials, space, service, time, and money. So they don't get confused. Yeah, the resources involve human resource, okay, equipment, materials, space, service, time, and money. Not only human resource. When you talk about resources, not only human resource. All uh, important things that can move your project will categorize as a resources. Yeah, you need space, you need service, you need time, you need money, you need material, equipment to help you to make your project move. Yeah, if you have the people only, then you don't have a tools, then I think uh, the project will not started and will not complete as what we agreed with the user. So human resource is a major component involved in the project resource allocation. So human resource is very important in any project. Without human resource, so we cannot automate, or we cannot ask robot to do a project, software project. So I don't know when this robot can do programming. Yeah, because in ICT is a service sector. So a different sector is different requirement. Correct? When you go to the oil and gas, the requirement is different. You go in healthcare, different requirement. You go in banking, different requirement. Yeah, you go for e-commerce, is different requirement. So we cannot uh, pattern it like a robot can do everything. No. So when the resource requirement is lower than the available resources, it is called resource underload. Yeah, resource leveling level the resource overload to meet resource availability, and project resource is crucial to be monitored and controlled for succession of the project. Yes, Resources is very important to manage, to monitor, to control it. Yeah. Uh, if the resources is a robot, it's very easy. Yeah, you just program it today what need to do, and then if you don't have a task, then you stop. Yeah, this is robot. But people is very different with the robot. So I would prefer work with robot rather than people, because people you have to manage their emotion. They have the emotional. Sometimes they emotional. Yeah? Emotion got emotional. Yeah. Sometimes they don't have rational. They cannot rationalize the fact and so on. So they make angry. They make complaint. They make gossip and so on. So this is the most challenging to manage. In front you is different. They stab you at the back. We don't know. Okay. So this require art. Yeah, art skill to manage the people. So if you are keen to be a project manager, make sure that you can or you able to manage people character, and you love this job, the job to manage people. So I think this is a key two things, a key two element that uh, that can sustain you as a project manager. But not less, you must uh, ensure that your knowledge on the technology is par level with the other project team. Okay. Okay, class. I think that that's all for the chapter 8. And then make sure that you listen to this lecture until end of the video. And after you uh, finish, watch this video or listen this video, and make sure you check in your attendance. And if you like this video and and it benefit to you, and uh, press the like button, and then put a comment, write a comment if you don't understand or you want to ask something. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much.